All right. Online students, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Give me just a second. Let me switch the speakers. All right. So I started the recording. All right. How are you guys, offline students? Something new? Nothing? All right. All right. My question number one, guys. Let's say we have a class, a Java class, and inside the Java class, we can create properties, right? It could be string name, it could be int age, but what if that property is an object? How do we call it? If inside the class, a property is an object. For example, a dealership, and inside it we have an object like car or an array of cars. How is it called? It's called composition. It's called composition. Always in this composition, there is a weak side and strong side. Which side is weak side? Car class or dealership class? Dealership class is strong side. Yeah, because it's independent. All right. Okay. Let's say this, guys. In arrays, in today we're gonna learn a new version of array, not new version, another version of array that helps us and gives us this methods and other manipulation methods. Using them we can add as many elements as we want, and we can also shrink it in size. We can make our array smaller. Let me ask this. Let's say you have an array of can you have an array of let's say unknown elements? Is it possible to create an array of unknown elements?
Unknown for us, for user.
For Java, for users, size is fixed. So whenever you create an array, should you specify size or not? Whenever you create an array object, should you specify the size?
Yes, we need to specify.
Yeah, size should always be specified. Let's say we create an array of let's say five cars. And all right, let's say we have a program with interactive menu. There is an interactive menu. Interactive menu is the one where you have options. It could be add car option, remove car option, find car option, or update car. What do you think? Can we use all of these methods, all of these features as many times as we want with this array?
Yes.
For example, if I run a program, we have this array that can hold up to 5 elements. And let's say I run my program and it gives me this interactive menu. Would you like to add car, remove car, find car, or update car? And let's say I choose add car. What are the basic car object properties? Brand, and let's make it just brand to keep this page very short. All right, so I press 1, choose option. This is a prompt message, and I choose 1. And what's likely to be displayed on this line, line 16, if I choose option 1? Probably it would ask to enter car brand. Enter car brand. Okay, then I enter here Toyota. Will I be able to choose this option 6 times? Add car option.
No, just 5 times.
5 times only, or maybe 4 times? How many times will be able to use this choose option? Choose option 1, sorry.
5.
Only 5 times. only 5 times. We cannot use it more than 5 times. If the array is filled, you can no longer use it. All right. Is it true? Is it true, guys, that, for example, I have there five elements, 5 spaces. All right. Whenever I add an element, can we add is it true that we need to specify where I would like to put that element inside the array? Should we? How do we assign some car to this array? Should we specify the index when you assign a car to this array?
We can.
Yeah, should we? We should always specify the index. For example, I would like to assign some car. Should I specify this index? It could be element, first element, second element, it could be third. But is there a way to do this assignment of an object to this array without this index? Without specifying here an index? It is not possible. When it comes to arrays, you should always specify this index. But today we are gonna learn something called ArrayList. Whenever you would like to assign or add some element, it will assign it to the end of the ArrayList, to the end. For example, let's say inside this car array, we have 5 cars. Will we be able to call this remove car to make our array of size 4? No, we cannot remove an element. Can we remove an element? No. With arrays, it's not possible. Okay, how about updating some car? Can we update an element?
Yes.
Update an element.
Okay.
We can update an element. Can we find element within this array? Yeah. We cannot call this remove car. We cannot use it with an array because array cannot become, it cannot get smaller. All right, and we can't call this add car function more than 5 times. We cannot call it more than 5 times. All right. Okay, so I have for us here, guys, something. So here I've got a car class, brand model year, brand model year. We have only 3 properties, and I would like to show you some example. All right. Menu options. For menu options, I will create another method to display me menu options. Display menu options. I can do it right inside the main method, but I want to keep this main method clean and readable. Option 1, add car. Option 2, remove car. Option 3. What could be option 3?
Fine.
Let's make it find car. Option 4, update car. Okay. Next, I'm gonna create here an array where we can hold 5 car objects. 5 car objects. All right. And in order to create such application, interactive application, when you run your program, it depends from you to stop this program or not. It relies on you. What do we use to create such kind of applications where it asks every time, would you like to stop the program or continue? And then if you press Y or press N, if you press N, it will stop the program. It will stop the flow. But if you choose Y, then it will continue asking this menu, like which menu option would you like to choose? To create this kind of interactive menu program, what control flow statement we need to use? Which control flow statement? To do something. What is this something? This something is asking us which option would you like to choose? Would you like to choose? Would you like to choose? Yeah, scanner. But it's not the main thing here. Scanner is just a small part of this program. So the action we need to run again and again is no, the action we need to like run again and again is this. Would you like to choose one or two? Like which choice would you like to do? This is something that we run multiple times. Another thing, we don't know how many times this will run. It depends from us. If I choose N, then it's gonna stop. While loop. But if I press Y, then it will keep asking us to choose an option. All right, so I have this display menu options. All right, I would like to show you this disadvantage of arrays, and then we're gonna learn another array called ArrayList, where you shouldn't be like where you don't need to go into details and create some variables to keep track of these car elements. All right, and then we create here choice. Maybe you remember? It's better if you remember it. We made this last time. We made it something like yes, or it was some empty string. And then we had a while loop where we say while choice is not equal to no. While it's not equal to no, the code inside this while loop will keep running. All right. And then once we enter this while loop, what should we see on the display, on the console?
Choose options.
Yeah, it should display us these options. It could be menu options. So let me return this. So in the output, first thing I should see is menu options, or let me make it interactive menu. Interactive menu. So once I enter this, I would like to call this method, but I'm not able to call it because it's not static. We make it static, make it callable from here. Okay, if I run this program, what's expected in the console?
Interactive menu, type car. No. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And how many times will we see this interactive menu?
Unlimited.
Yep. It will be repeated again and again, unlimited times. Because we don't have which part of this while loop? Which part of while loop we missed? It could be called counter, we have condition. What do we miss? We miss update part we miss. So here we need some update. So first, display menu option. We ask the user, enter your choice. Then we take this from user, we read it from user, int. So let's make it enter your, this one is, we can call it C, or it can be called option. Option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. Option, then, and then if option is 1, we're gonna do one thing. If option is 2, we're gonna do remove car. If option is 3, we do find car. If option is 4, we do update car. So if we have 4 outcomes that depend from this option, what should be next here? You read this option value, it could be 2. If it's 2, what do we need to do? We need to remove car. What if instead of 2 I enter 1?
Add car.
All right, but should I write here remove car, end car function like without some condition?
We are creating new method. Maybe. No.
What will be next here? You made a choice, guys. You have 4 choices. You choose something. You made the option you choose, it might be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. What will be next after taking this? Enter your choice. My choice is 1. My choice is 2. But no actions behind this. So there should be actions. But do we need to always, let's say here, do we need to always add car? Let's say it's a logic. If I choose option 1, then should we always make add car? Maybe if I choose 2, will we still need to make add car? If I choose 2,
Remove car.
it should be remove car, but how can we make a code that runs different logic? Different logic, and that logic depends from a value. Come on, guys, it's if else statement. How you don't know it? It's if. So here, next, guys, how many conditional statements we need here?
4.
4. So it's if,
Add car or
else,
remove car.
yeah, if, else if,
Else if.
else if,
Else.
else if,
Else if.
and then else. It could be some number like 5. It could be some letter. So if option is 1, we need to add car. So let's, for now, just print this actions. Add car. Next thing is
Else if.
else if. If option is 2,
Remove.
then we're gonna replace the system out print lines by real code. Remove car, then else if 3. In this case, we do find car. Okay. Find car. Else if the option is 4, we update the car. What do we do in case of else? Invalid option. We don't have this option. We don't have option 5. All right, let's run it. Let's say I choose 3. Let's say we have, do we have right now their cars, guys? No, let's create something like this. 5. So we're gonna have more, guys, here. One more option. 5, 4. What could be for option 5? We have add car, remove car, find car. The last one, if you are able to add, remove, find, update, but you would like to see whether it works or not, what do we need?
Check.
It could be checked. It could be called display cars. If you do add car, how do you know if it's added or not? You need to display it. Display the array, if it's changed or not. If you add some car, the array should change its size and elements. So it's display cars. All right, let's run it. If I choose 3, let's say in this array we have 5 cars. It could be Toyota, Honda, Ford, and 2 more brands. Let's say we have there 5 cars. If I press 3, what should be next?
Find car, enter your choice.
So
Okay,
if I press 3, logically, what do you think?
Find the car. Find the car and then enter your choice again and again. No?
So there are 5 cars. We don't see them. They're behind. Yeah, which one would you like to find? If I press 3, it should display me. It's this find car update. yeah, like logically, the flow should go this way. It should ask from us, which car would you like to find? Which car? So this find car, remove car, it's like logic that we need to write there. So if it's 3, it should display us find car. I'll tell you ahead, guys. We won't be able to implement this remove car because we cannot remove elements from array. Like let's call it X, like we cannot. We can't remove cars from array. We cannot remove cars from array. All right. All right, let's say we need to add a car. Add a car. If I would like to add a car, if I would like to add a car, what should be next? How should the flow go? If I choose 1, add car.
Car array.
Let's say you are a sales assistant. Somebody came to you, they reached out and they told you that, oh, there is a new car. It's not in the system. We need to add this car into our dealership system. And okay, you run your computer and you choose this add car option. And then what's next?
Right.
Right.
We need to write after.
You need to write its name, year, model, maybe VIN number. You need to enter this data. So if I choose add car, then next should be
Design.
prompt message. What's the brand for the car? If you didn't give the brand, if you didn't input this brand name, what will be the car? Car will be unknown. There's no car of no brand. So when you press 1, what should be next?
Use also Scania.
Yeah, after
Message.
prompt message. What will be in the prompt message?
What car
Did
would
you
you
add
like to add? What
Yeah, enter
model?
cars?
the car brand. Let's make it this. Enter the car brand. And then string brand.
Next. Scanner. Next.
No, not new Scania.
Next
Scanner.
line.
One.
The next line.
Next line. All right. Let me run it. 1, enter the car brand. What could go wrong in this case? The thing is this, you remember or not, but when you first make an input of int and then you make an input of string, it always happens. It skips this. So we can create 2 scanners, one for ints, the other one for strings, or we can call here right before scanner next line. 1, enter the car brand. Okay, if I enter the car brand, what should be next?
We need to stop. Assign it.
Toyota. Toyota, is it an object? Just Toyota.
It's element inside the object or array.
Yeah, Toyota is a string. String is an object, but when it comes to car object, Toyota is a property. It's not a whole object. Whole object could be brand, year, and more details. So now we have only brand. How is it possible to do this? We have here a car. Let me do it here. We have here an array of cars. Is it the right way to declare an array of car objects? Is it the right way? Or we made something wrong?
It's right.
Yeah, it's right way. So next, let's say I have this brand. I'm not using scanner, but let's say I have here a brand Toyota. All right. Will we be able to do this, guys? Cars, 0, brand. One by K.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
What's the data type for this brand? String. What's the data type for car array objects?
Car.
Its data type is car. It's not string. If it was a string, then you would be able to do it, but it's not string. It's car object.
Instead of string, we need to use car.
We need to create an object. Car, single car, new car, and then we could assign here its brand to constructor. Then we can assign this car object. You cannot assign a string because the type of this array is car. Imagine if you had this, guys, int array new int 5 string number 12. Will you be able to do this? Will you be able to do this?
No.
What other students think? No? And why your answer is no?
It's string data type. It's not
Because integers and string, array of integers.
Here we have an
numbers.
array of ints. This one is a string object, string data type. So that's why the same here we have a we had this problem. You are assigning to this car object a string, but string is smaller than an object. Object is bigger. Object could have inside it 5 strings, maybe more. So this is the right way, assigning it this way. So here we've got a brand. We've got a brand. If I run this code and if I choose 1, it will enter this condition, right? Then it will prompt us to enter the car brand, and then it will we make an input of car brand. Next, what should we do? Let me remove this things such as model. I don't need them. Too many things here. All right. So what should be next? What Ulanbeke thinks? We have a string brand. It's smaller than an object. We cannot do something like assign to car. Oh, a brand. It's impossible. We should do something else. We need to create a car object. Object should be created here. And then we can assign the object, this object. So car, new car. And as we remember from here, we have here a constructor. All right. What's the use of constructor? Why do we need constructors?
for initializing.
For initializing, right? Clara, what's the difference between class and object? I asked you yesterday this. What's class and what's object?
Inside of class, we create properties.
Properties we can create inside the class. Okay.
It's like a blueprint, right? To create objects.
It's the blueprint. Is it true or not? Maybe
It's a blueprint or
or a template.
template.
Object is
Create object.
yeah, object is an instance or like copy of that blueprint, yeah?
Can we use body factor?
Yeah, like pattern, yeah, it can also be used because pattern is something created once and it could be reused in multiple places. But better template or blueprint, yeah. All right, so here we create this car object. Okay, it should be cars. And then we can assign this car. Let's do this. If I run this program and if I choose 5, what should be next? Cars should be displayed. So
Array.
how can we display those cars?
We assign index by index.
How can we display arrays? We just do arrays to string cars, yeah? This is,
But we don't have the cars now.
yeah, now we don't have, but later we are gonna have, that's why. So here, arrays to string, but it's not the proper way yet. It's not gonna work. If I run it, if I choose 1, we are right here, enter the car brand. So I can minimize this one. We don't need else if option 2. So here I enter the car brand, Toyota. Then there inside this array, we should have one object. Let's display these cars. We have here one object, but this object doesn't show us its properties. What we can do, guys, in this case, do you remember this kind of methods? Where inside of this method, you display the properties. Like display car info, display smartphone info, display bank account info, maybe. All right. But cars,
Call the method.
should we do this always? Should we always display information about the first car? If I choose display cars, should we display only the information for the first car?
Without the index, yeah. I think.
Without? No. If I run it,
Oh, the-
let me run it. 1, the car brand is Toyota. Then I choose 5. It displays me Toyota. It displays me Toyota. All right, let me enter here. Let me choose option 1 one more time. It should be our second car, right? It should be a second object. The car brand is Ford. All right, Ford should be added successfully. All right. And let's verify it. If I choose 5, now it displays me Ford. It shows me only one object. Look, it shows me only one object. Should we always show only one object?
No.
If I would like to display cars,
Oh,
we can do this 5 times. Or is there anybody who can tell me what we can do else before finishing it? I finished it. So this is one way to display all cars.
that
Maybe array through array that
No. So here, it's basic thing, guys. Here we are repeating the same thing.
Can use for.
For loop could be used here. For loop, and then here, instead of this index, we could use I. And then we could call this method for first element, second, and third.
How does it call this method?
Which
Call
method?
right? It's method, right?
Display car info.
Yeah, it's method.
Yeah, it's a method. It's a behavior.
How we can read this line 33? It's calling method.
Yeah, we call a method. So we have object. In this case, it's first car. Cars 0. And we are calling method of first car. Method of the first car. If I do this, it will always display me the second car's information.
Is it possible to call this method inside, outside of the main method?
What do you mean by outside?
Like it means next public static. Just
No, it's not possible. We can never create here a code. We can never even
when we are
write
calling
system
it, it's only inside the main, right?
inside the main, or could be in other methods also. It could be inside this curly braces. So here, what do we need to do here? For loop. For loop. And it runs cars length times. And here I just do cars I, and for each object, I call their own display car info. Let's say we have an array of 5 elements, Toyota, Honda, Ford, and other cars. So let's say cars, 1, display car info. Which car brand will be printed in the console? The order is this: Toyota, Ford, and Honda. Cars, 1 dot display car info.
Second,
It will be Ford, yeah? It will be Ford. So here we use a for loop to call this method not only on a single object. We call it on all objects. All right, let's run it. So here it's important. There is gonna be more and more errors showing up. So here we add a car. Car brand is Toyota. 5, display the car. All right. So here it tells us exception in thread main cannot call display car info because cars I is null. So when we create here a car array, when you create here a car array, how many elements are there in this cars array?
5.
5 elements. And what are these elements? It's
No.
5 nulls. It's 5 nulls. So if you add one car, how will your array change? You have 5 nulls, you know it. Null, 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 null. You have 5 nulls. And we add one car object. So once you added the one car object, where it should be placed? At the beginning or at the end or at the middle? In the middle. It should be added, yeah, it should be assigned to the first element. So it will be, how will your array change once you add one car object?
Toyota now.
Toyota and 4 nulls, right? So here what happens? How many times will this for loop run?
5 times.
What's the length for the array?
5.
5. So it will run 5 times. Cars 0 display car info. It will display Toyota. Next, cars 1 display car info. It will display which car? Will
Second part.
second car? Do we have second car?
Not yet.
Not yet.
not yet.
It's null.
Okay.
No.
So it's null. So we cannot use this cars length. Cars length means the number of cars we can hold there, but it doesn't mean the number of cars we store there. It means the number of cars we can hold. So what can we do in this case? We cannot use this cars length. We should use something else.
Index.
No.
For what we want
Okay.
here, we need to use input from user brand.
No. So else if 5 is used for what? To display all the cars that we have, yeah? So all the cars that we have are Toyota and 4 nulls. We shouldn't count those 4 nulls. We should skip them somehow. But if you use cars length here, how many times for loop will run? 5 times. So it will call on a null object display car info. Null object doesn't have information. So this should run only some number of it runs 5 times, yeah, but it should run different number of times. If you have there one car object, it should run
One.
only one time. It cannot be one. If we do it one, let's say then you added second car. How many times will your for loop run? One, if you put here one.
I
N?
plus 1.
We have no n here. Or we could create this n. What this n could mean?
I plus 1. No?
N could mean, so how many times this for loop should run? Let's say I added 2 cars, Toyota and Ford, 2 times. So let's say I added only 4 cars. How many times this for loop should run?
4.
4 times. No, not I. So here, this 4 or 2 is, we can call it some n number. N number. What this n number mean? What is this n number? N number. No, number of elements is cars.length. N could mean this number of real cars inside the array. Existing cars. So n could mean the number of cars. When I run this program for the first time, what's the number of cars inside this array?
1.
At the beginning, when I run, there are no cars. It's just 5 nulls. So n is
0.
n is 0. N is the number of real cars inside the array. N is 0. When I add 2 objects to the array, what should be this n? N should become 2. What if I added only 1 object to the array? N should be
1.
we can create somewhere here at the level of car int n. This n could be number of real cars or cars added. At the beginning, it's 0. Cars added. So once you call this if, we can increase this cars added. So if you add there 1 car object, now you have 1 cars added. Yeah. And then instead of cars length, which is 5 always, we can use cars added. Cars added is affected by this if. If it's called, then it will be 1, then it's 2. All right. So if we run this code, if we call this add car, we're inside this if. Prompt message is displayed, enter the car brand. All right. Do you know, guys, like if I minimize this window, do you know what are we doing right now? What are we trying to do? We're trying to create some menu-based application where you have menu options. Like there is a remote, and remote has options. Like it could be option 1, like switch to channel 1, but in our program it's add a car. Option 2, which is remove car, then update, then find. So we should end up with some menu-based application. So enter the car brand. I entered the car brand, which is Toyota. So now we hold inside this object a brand Toyota. Then we create a single object. Why do we create this single object?
Because we cannot find the
String. Yeah. We need to put this object or assign this object to some element. That's why we create it. All right. Toyota. Next, display the cars I have. It displays me Toyota. Fine. When I press 5, it enters this loop, this else if. And then cars added will be 1. Cars added is 1 because how many times did we call this? Like, did we enter this if?
1 time.
Only 1 time. So cars added is included only 1 time. So when I choose 5, this for loop runs how many times? 1. Cars added times. It's 1. So from 0 to 1, 1 is not included. So cars 0, display car info. Next, so here we're gonna face another error. There's gonna be another, we can call it error. So add a car next. Ford. What's the value of cars added right now?
1.
It's 2 now. It's 2. We added the second car. So then if I press 5, we enter this else if. We enter this else if. Next. How many times this for loop will run?
2 times.
2 times. Right. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. It displays Ford. Which car should be displayed first? Very first. Toyota and then Ford. But we have only 1 car. Let's take a look at here. Let's say we are at this point. Let's say we added Toyota already. We added, it's already done. Next step, we add second car. If I choose option 1, which conditional statement will be executed? Which one? First one, this one. Okay, so I enter the brand. Brand is Ford. I create an object. Very important here, guys. I create an object of a car class. The brand is Ford. It's Ford. Then we assign this Ford object. It's second time. We create this object second time. We assign this Ford object to element at index 0. It shouldn't be 0.
We should change it.
Index, or we created something like cars added. We can use it here. If we do it 0, what will happen? It will just put instead of this Toyota, Ford. So now if we put there Ford, then we have still only 1 car. We didn't assign to the second element another car.
How to replace, right?
Yeah, so to do so, it shouldn't be a static value. If it's a static value, it always assigns to the Toyota, Ford, and then to the Ford's element, it will assign Honda. We can use here some variable called cars added. Let's say I run this program. I run it. I call this add car method. What's the value of cars added right now? At this moment, value of cars added 0. Very good. So I enter the car brand Toyota. I enter the car brand, it's Toyota. We create an object and we assign to its properties, to brand property Toyota. What's the value of cars added?
0.
0. So we assign to the first element object Toyota. Then cars added becomes, at this moment, cars added is
1.
Is it 1?
Second.
It is 1 because we assigned Toyota object. So now cars added is at this moment. It's 1. Is it true that if we would like to assign or add a new car object, we're gonna assign it to index 1? Yeah? So we can use this cars added. We assign cars added to the first element. like to the first index, then cars added becomes 2. So 2 is an index that we prepared for the next element. For the next, every time we prepare an index for the next element. So let's run it now. Add a car. Ford. Display the cars. We have a Ford. Then I can actually, I prefer this. If this display menu options is displayed only once. All right. I add a car. It's Ford. My choice is 5. I have Ford. I have only Ford. Next, my choice is 1 again. I enter here Toyota. Next, let's display this. Now we have Ford and Toyota there. What's the value of cars added right now? 2. Is it true that this Honda will be assigned to the index 2 element? So we can use this cars added variable. Honda, my choice is 5. So now we have Ford, Toyota, Honda. So array is array, guys, is much worse than the topic we learned today. The one data structure we learned today is called, we're gonna learn today is called ArrayList. ArrayList. It's flexible. We don't need this something like cars added, because it will be flexible. When you add an object, when we add an object to this array, do we need to use an index? When you would need to add an object to the array, do we need an index?
Yes, we need.
Yes, we need this index. We have it here. But if you use ArrayList, at first, ArrayList will be empty. Empty. If you add to the ArrayList one car, which is Toyota, let's say I added to the ArrayList a car, Toyota. Now we have inside that ArrayList only one car. It's Toyota. Next, I would like to add one more car. Then the second car will be added at the end of the ArrayList, which is Toyota and then Ford. Then if you would like to add one more car, it will be Toyota, Ford, and Honda will be at the end. So it will be Toyota, Ford, and then Honda, and so on. So every time you add an element, it will be at the end. All right.
But how we access them?
We access them by indexes. We're gonna learn it. So for find car, I'll show you guys. For example, let's say I have there 5 cars. 5 cars. Toyota, Honda, Ford, and 2 more cars. I choose option 3, which is find a car. What should be next if I choose here 3, right here?
Find a car. Can choose available car, right?
We need to specify, right? We need to specify something that will help us to find that car, yeah? It could be that car's index, or it could be that car's brand. If I choose 3, which is find car, it should be car brand or car index. All right, let's choose together, guys. We have 5 cars at indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, are we gonna use index or brand names to find that car? We can use indexes or we can use brand names.
Index, brand.
Let's use brand names.
Brand.
Yeah, it's not a perfect application because there could be some duplicates. There could be 2 Toyotas. So what should be a prompt message if I choose 3 and if there are already 5 cars? I choose 3, find a car.
Which model maybe? Which brand?
Yeah. Enter the brand of car you are looking for. All right. And then I enter the brand. Next, we have 5 cars. We have 5 cars. What do we need to do next?
If,
Cars.
name,
No.
Oh, we need to look. Yeah.
We have 5 cars. We need to iterate through each car. We need to check, is this Toyota? Is this Toyota? Is this Toyota? Is this? Once we reach that Toyota, we stop and we say, we have a Toyota for you right now available at 5 p.m.
For loop.
at this
Target, maybe target's brand. We need to.
for and if condition.
For loop. Yeah.
For, and here we again use cars added because we cannot check nulls. If
name, not equal,
Cars. Added.
cars I, it's brand, not cars I itself. It's brand because cars I, it's an object. If it's brand, what's the data type for this brands? String. How do you compare strings?
Equals.
That
What?
equals.
name,
Yeah,
Name.
exactly. Brand.
Brand.
If we find it, we can display this. Is found in the system. Let's run it. Actually, we are done. We could do this. If let's say we have 50 cars, Toyota, Honda, Ford, and 47 more cars. Honda is the 3rd car in the system. We are looking for Honda, Toyota, Ford, Honda. We found Honda. There are 47 more cars. Do we need to check those cars?
what's the break?
We can put here a break. Once we found the car we want, then we break. So once you find that car, we can break the for loop. Run it. Add a car, Toyota. One more time, add a car, Honda. Display the cars. We have Toyota and Honda. All right. Next, 3, and I would like to find one car, but we skip this point. We are not able, it's not letting us to enter here value. So we can use here scanner dot next line. All right. All right, we have here Toyota and Honda. 3, I'm looking for Honda. It tells me Honda is found in the system. Very good. 3. All right. 4. It's okay. We are not gonna do the other part that tells us we are sorry, Ford is not in the system. Maybe you can come next week. We're not gonna add this feature. So we are done with this. Find search feature. This one is a search feature. Like if you press 3, then you'll be looking for some car in the system. All right. So now we have 4. Now we have 4. Let's say we have 50 cars again in the dealership or in the array. And the first 3 cars are Toyota, Honda, and Ford. I would like to update some details about a specific car. What are the cars we have inside the array? Toyota, Ford, and Honda. We have 3 cars and 47 more. All right, I would like to update details of Toyota. What should we do to update some details for a Toyota car?
You also need to use for loop and if statement.
Why? Do we need to use for loop and if statement?
Check.
What do you mean the updated table?
Then we need
For example,
to change.
last week we added into the system some car, Toyota Camry 2015 hybrid.
It's attributes.
Yeah,
properties.
yeah. And then it turns out this week your manager comes to you and tells you, this is not hybrid. It was non-hybrid car. You made a mistake. So you need to update that detail. So you need to make update, you need to find the Toyota Camry first, right? In the system. You find it again by checking these elements. Once you found it, then you can update it. So for update, we again need find function. We need again
For loop.
find. We need again for. Cars added. Next thing we need is to check if it's Toyota or not. How do we do it?
Parse add.
If each element should be checked until you find Toyota. If it's not found, then it's not there.
Cars I
If cars I,
Brand.
Brent, we are looking for Toyota
equal
equals.
brand.
All right, we missed this point. We didn't ask which car would you like to update. Enter the brand of car you wanna update. Next, string brand scanner dot next line. Okay, I'll add just in advance this one. All right, equals brand. If you find it, we need to update. Let's say I is 2 and Toyota is at index 2. It's third element. So we need to do here some update. How do we do this update? We need to assign a new value to its brand. How do we assign values to properties of objects?
Index.
Cars I.
It should, so if we are checking elements, cars I, brand, we're checking their, verifying if it's Toyota or not. Cars I brand, is it Toyota or not? If we found out it's Toyota, then we work on that object. We process that object. Cars I dot brand. We are gonna assign to its brand property, not to the object. We are gonna assign to its brand property and it could be new brand name. Enter the brand of car you wanna update. If what could be printed inside this if statement? What does if statement mean?
Brand. If we have
If index, this brand is equal to that brand.
In very simple words, guys, what does this if mean?
it means
Has been updated.
Brands equal to which you look
It
for.
means, oh, we found that car, right? It means this.
exists
That car exists. Let's for now display just, oh, we found that car. Let's do it. All right. So here add car, I'm gonna add here 2 cars. Toyota and Honda. Next, I would like to update just 4. Enter the brand of car you wanna update. I would like to update Toyota. All right. Is Toyota inside the array?
yes.
Yeah. and it displays me, oh, we found that car. But instead of, oh, we found that car, what should be there?
Brand that update.
So we found Toyota. So our manager told us,
Enter prompt message. Enter
No.
your.
yeah, what do you want to update? Yeah. All right, we found that car. What do you want to update? So it should be another prompt message. Enter new brand. Brand is something we would like to update. Enter new brand. String new brand. You can give your own names. It could be brand.
The new brand, or we just updating, just changing some data information.
We need to change the detailed information, but we need to take it from user, or we need to assign some new brand. We cannot put here a static value. If you put here a static value, then every time we make an update, let's say we have Toyota, Honda, and Ford. If I would like to update Ford, Ford will be updated with the same value we did with Toyota. So that's why we take it and we read it from user. If instead of this, we use here, for example, let's say Mercedes, then when you make update, all cars will be Mercedes. All of them will be updated to have this car brand. So it should be scanner dot next line. Then we need to assign this new brand to
Brand, yeah.
to cars I. We are checking each element's brand. Then we found that specific element at some cars I index. This I could be 2, maybe 33. We found it. It's at car I index. So we need to update a car at car I index. We assign a new brand. So let's run this code. Add a car. For add car, this part is responsible. The car brand is Toyota. Choice is, again, 1 to enter Honda. So now we have Toyota and Honda. Toyota and Honda. Next thing is find car. Do we have Honda?
Yes.
Yeah, it displays as Honda is found in the system. Which one is update? It's 4. All right. I would like to update few details about Honda. Do we have Honda?
Yes.
Honda. Enter new brand for that Honda. Let's update this Honda brand by Ford. So now in the array or in the dealership, in storage, we have Toyota and Ford. Let's check it. It's Toyota and Ford. So we have done the update as well. Yeah, we replaced the value. All right, so this thing is called, what we have done there, we have done add, find, update. Okay, and let me do this. This one is can be called as read. This one is called update. This one is called, okay. This one, create. All right. And usually it's like this. There is remove. So, and here in, like, we have this word called, it's called CRUD, C-R-U-D, CRUD. When you test something, you will always test for create. If you add something, what should you check? What should you test? If you're making automation tests on a dealership website and you are automating the part of adding cars, removing cars. So if you need to test this feature, adding a new car to the dealership system, let's say you added a car, what should you test?
To check if it's added.
Yeah, you check if it's added or not. If it's update, you update it, and then you check if it's updated or not. And you do also other types of tests, like it could be if you do add, maybe it was removed or not. So there are different types of things you could do, but mainly if you add, you check if it's added. Display is just display. You do display every time you add, update, or remove. Display is to check if it was added or if it was updated or if it was removed. Okay, so we're gonna learn today a new data structure called ArrayList. And with ArrayList, these CRUD operations should become a little bit easier. We would be able to add more elements and remove as many elements as we want. ArrayList is much more flexible. And you should know it because, like, if something is tough, learn it and it will become easier. Then once you learn, you don't say it's tough. Okay. So here it is. So these are the advantages. Introduction to ArrayList and wrapper classes. Today's topic, guys, is ArrayList and wrapper classes. What do you know about array? Tell me a few facts about array.
Its size structure is
It can hold
Its size structure,
several.
what?
Size of elements.
Can hold several like elements, and it's
First
fixed
of all,
always.
First of all, if something can hold multiple elements, it's called data structure. Data structure. Array is a data structure. Data structure that can hold fixed size of elements of the same data type, of same data type. All right. And in order to make manipulations over this array, over some array, what should we always have?
Index.
Yeah,
Index. Index should be used every time you make access, update, every time. So ArrayList. What's an ArrayList? ArrayList is a resizable array. So it's not fixed, it's flexible. It can grow in size and it can shrink in size. It can make your array length 5, then 6, then 7, or it can become smaller, 5, 4, 3 as you remove elements. It stores elements dynamically. So unlike arrays, this one is flexible.
it's not fixed size.
It's not fixed size, yeah. So you can add as many times. So it supports only object types. All right. If it supports only object types, can you use an array list with int primitive data type?
no.
No, it doesn't support primitive data types. It supports only object types, not primitives. We're gonna learn what's wrapper class today. Yeah, it's for strings, it's for car objects to store like list of cars, list of bank accounts. Yeah. So ArrayList supports only object types. It's resizable. And in ArrayList, it's possible to store objects of different data types, of different. we can store in the array list objects of different data types, but we have a rule. In a data structure, usually we store values or elements of the same data type. All right, and we access elements of array list by indexes, except this part, like it's resizable. All other parts are pretty similar to the array, regular array of array list by indexes. It provides methods to make manipulations easier. There are already some methods. For example, let's say we have 50 cars. In order to check if you have inside that array Honda, what should we do? Which control flow statements should be used? Or and if, right? We check each element. But for array list, there are predefined, there are ready methods. There are ready methods that make those manipulations easier. All right. Advantages of array list. It's resizable, number one. Next, you can add as many elements as you want. You can update, delete, and you don't worry about the size of array list. When it comes to regular array, we worry about the size. There could be 5 car objects, up to 5 cars, but at the beginning it could be Toyota and then 4 nulls. And that's why we created a new variable. But with array lists, we don't need a new variable. Array list will handle all the rest for us. So there are methods. Array list has methods, built-in methods to add, remove, and update these elements. So for the array list, we don't need to specify the size. When you create this array list, you create it just like this. Array list of cars, and that's it. Array list of cars. You don't need to specify its size. For array, there should always be size at the time of declaration. And there's a table, guys, that compares this array and array list. When it comes to this size, array is fixed, array list is resizable. Array can store primitives. How about objects? Can it store objects?
Yeah.
Yep, it can store objects like car. But array list can store only objects. And arrays are faster. They're faster because there are no methods and they're not flexible. That's why it's they don't have a bunch of methods. We don't need to in the array. Array doesn't care about the size. It's always fixed. But array list can grow in size. That's why it's slower. Because let's say let's say we have 50 cars in the array list. 50 cars. And then we remove some element in the middle of the array. Let's say the element in the middle of the array list is Toyota and its index is 25. Next to Toyota, we have Honda. Honda is at index 26. Let's say Toyota is removed. Then now Honda's index will become 25. And this index will be this, let's say Ford will become 26 and so on. So there are, we remember from yesterday, shifts. There will be a lot of shifts, right? From right to the left. So that's why it makes it slower. For array, we have no built-in methods. For array list, we have bunch of built-in methods, predefined methods. These are common methods for array list. We're gonna call them. We're gonna execute them in the IntelliJ IDEA after the break. So these are the methods. We can add element we can replace element, we can remove element, we can access element, we can get the size of the array list. When it's array, how do we get the size of the array?
Length.
Length, by using length. Here it's size. It returns the number of elements. Contains, this one checks if element is in the list. So we can use contains and then something like for. Clear. Using clear, we can remove all elements from the array list. Is empty. This method returns true if the list is empty, if there are no elements in the array list. So right now, guys, let's have a break for 50 minutes, and then we continue right after the break.
This function is similar like SQL, no?
In SQL,
Yes, get,
in SQL, we don't have
update,
get,
like
but we have update.
update, remove.
Like in SQL, you also have similar
Similar
methods. There you have tables, and the elements are called rows. Rows.
So which one is easier to?
It's two different things to compare, really. Table is different, and array list is different.
No, I mean in general. In general, SQL or Java?
Like, you mean SQL or Java? SQL you can learn like in 1-2 days, basic things. For Java, it might be longer, because in SQL you can easily create table, then select data from there, insert. This is what is done basically. But SQL can be also very difficult if you learn it if you deep dive into SQL.
Yeah, there's some.
Ага, и чувств, и этот. Да, онлайн тоже, наверное. Вообще, общий умеешь писать? Девять мы проходили.
Understand logic of the Java. I tried to watch many videos, but it's better than the first one, but no, it's not enough for me.
Do it again. Only doing it again will help.
What suggestion I do? For example, one code is
Mhm.
maybe 30, 50 times in Bahasa.
Yeah, it might help for me. For other person, maybe for you it needs to be more. Maybe you need to do some work one-to-one with me, maybe with Bahabake. It could be this, like maybe some people they require every person thinks different, right? For some people it takes maybe 1 hour to learn a thing, and also there are things like will be obvious, like honest, it's age, right? These things might work. So maybe you need somebody who can explain you one-to-one. It might also make difference. Okay. So these are the online students. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me make a quick recall. Day 43. Here. Right. It's better for you guys if you speak in the class English. Like if you speak this way, then you don't speak at all, even in the break. I know it. Like the vibe, the aura, everything should be in English. It's only your problem if you don't speak English. For me, I'm doing interviews. Last week I did interviews. This week I'm gonna have interviews from companies I have. And if I have bad English, my technical skills will not help me to pass that interview at all. Even I'm able to solve that coding problem in, let's say, it's fantastic, but let's say I solved it in 1 minute. But if I cannot explain it, how they understand that I solved it? Yeah. So English, guys.
So interviewers, do they ask like in a detail, like how we solve the like tasks
They
during
don't
the
ask at the end when you are solving that problem. I had this problem in my final. Do you remember I told it was like 3 weeks ago? Um, my problem was that I was not able to solve the second coding question. It was a really tough coding question. There was nobody in front of me or behind me, somebody to help me. So I was on my own. I had only my laptop and that's it. And I was trying to do my best. I tried to use ChatGPT, but it was not helpful. Why? At times it's not helpful because sometimes it gives you wrong answers. It's one. The other thing is they might do this. For example, if I'm gonna give you right now a coding question, what they expect from you is they expect from you somebody who is experienced, right? We'll be honest. They think you are experienced. They give you coding question, and what they might say, ideally, it would be best for you if they give you coding question, they will ask you to solve it and later explain it. But in my case, it was this. They gave me coding question and they told me, all right, let's go and explain me how you will solve it. And I was not able to explain it because it was tough coding question. But if they would say me something like, all right, solve it and then explain it, maybe I will look up it somewhere, use ChatGPT, it would help me to solve it, and then I would be able to explain, but it was not that case. They asked immediately, all right, go and explain your steps. How will you solve it? First, let's make this connection. They told me, let's figure out that you understood. I didn't understand that problem. So that's why. That's why English is important. I'm saying it was not English. It was coding question. Coding question was tough. If they would tell me first solve it and then explain it, I could do it. I would use maybe my own or maybe ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT would tell me the steps to solve, right? And I would be able to explain it. But they asked me to explain it first, the way I will solve.
When you solve them, do you have to share your screen?
Yeah. Sometimes you need to share your screen, sometimes you don't need to. Sometimes when you need to share your screen, the other thing you can do, you can connect the second screen. So they are not able to see your second screen.
And you can use the chat.
Yeah.
Find this testament
No, not no.
in the book.
Yeah. So here, okay. All right. So let me open the presentation. So next thing is this, guys. ArrayList common methods. What we do next, open the IntelliJ IDEA and create here package day 43. Yeah, create this package day 43. Did you create this package? All right. Next step. Let me open here thing called this page. 3, 4, 5. Not this one. All right. So let me explain to you here. So which primitive data type is used to store int values, to store fractional numbers?
Double.
Double. Which data type is used to store very, very big numbers?
Long.
Long.
Okay, which data type is used to store single characters?
Char.
Char, okay. And next, which data structure can be used to store as many elements as you want? And at the in the process, you can remove and insert more elements. ArrayList. Can ArrayList store primitive values? Can it store primitive
No.
values?
No.
So the answer is no. We can use here only object types. So instead of writing here int, we will go with a wrapper class called integer. There's a wrapper class called integer. So let me write here down all these 8 primitive data types: byte, short, int. It's long, double, float. These are the 8 primitive data types. And all of these 8 primitive data types, they have their corresponding wrapper class. They have their corresponding wrapper class. Byte has wrapper class called byte. Short has this short. This one has integer. Long has this wrapper class. Double has double. This one has float, and here it's character. Okay. Right, maybe All right, I didn't have it here. All right, that's fine. So let's do this. Create here inside day 43 a class called test. Test and a main method. I think I had it somewhere. Where is it? Okay, it got removed. Let me do this. What are wrapper classes, guys? Wrapper classes are object types of primitive data types. They provide us a way to use this int double with ArrayList. They provide us a way to use this primitive data type such as int as objects. Each primitive data type has its corresponding wrapper class. Int has integer, char has character, double has this double, and so on. So each of them have their own wrapper class. And it's not very something difficult. Why do we need wrapper classes? For example, if you need to create an array list to store numbers, what would be the type for that array list? Will it be int or integer for array list?
Integer.
It will be integer. It will be integer. So we cannot use their int. That's why these wrapper classes help us. Why do we need wrapper classes? So collections require object types. There we use wrapper classes. So wrapper classes are used to store primitive values in an array list. To store numbers in an array list, we need to use integer. All right, so this is an example to create here in the test. Create this, guys, in the main method. So this is basic array list. Array list. This is how we declare an array list. Array list, we say here, array list. Array list data structure. Array list data structure of integer objects, of integers. Then new array list. New array list, diamonds, and then parentheses.
Diamond.
Yeah, this could be called as diamonds. All right. So this thing, guys, did we specify right here, guys? We declared an array list. Did we specify its size? Did we set a size for it? No, there's no size. Let's do this. Let's display this array list. Let's write here int list. We don't need for array lists to use arrays.toString. We don't need it. If we have this code, it displays an array with one element. With one element. It's an array list. Basically, under the hood, it's an array. It's still an array, but it's enhanced array. It's flexible array. There is an element 10. we can add here as many times 10 as we want. So now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Let me add here one more time a number, 99. So what do you think, guys? Where this 99 will be? Will it be at the beginning or at the end?
And then
Yeah, it pushes it to the end of the array list. It's right here. So we can call this methods add, get, contains, get first, get last. So get last will return us 99. There is a method size. Size method will return us, which is 6, right? It returns the number of elements, which is 6. So it's really easy. We can create as many elements as we want. Next, I can do this. Int list remove. Let me see. It's very interesting because it might remove all 10s, or there could be an error. There could be an error because we don't have element at index 10. All right, there is an error. It tells us that there is no element at index 10. So remove. Here use an indexes. It uses an index. So what's the index for 99? Yeah, which is 5. If we write here 5, we get rid of 99. So now we've got only 5 elements. So we can remove these elements and insert more elements. So let's take a look at this slide. ArrayList manipulation. ArrayList manipulation. Let's create here, let's remove it, and then we're gonna create here an array list of string. All right. How many wrapper classes do we have, guys? What do you think, logically? How many wrapper classes do we have?
8.
8. 8. Only 8. We have 8 primitive data types, and we have 8 wrapper classes. Wrapper classes help us to use in the array list this primitive values. Let's create here this array list. Its name is list, new array list. All right. And then here, let's copy this code. We created an array list. This is how we create an array list. This is how we add elements. We use this method called add. Add this element 1 string and element 2 strings. Yeah, add them. And then we're gonna call get method and remove method.
The new class or
No. As I told, remove everything and then create this array list. All right. So here, remember these two methods, guys, get method and remove method. So let me add here this values, list.add. What was the first value? Element 1, list add, element 2. It's very easy, guys, this array list. It's basically almost the same as regular array, but here we have some new methods and its declaration is different. All the other part is the same. We can access them by index. We can update them by index. We have size. So here next list that get, we can access elements by their index. We don't write here list and then this. We write there list that get, okay, 0. Which element will be accessed by this code? Element. Yeah, if I run this code, will it display me something? No. Yeah, it's the same as if we had this array display me 0, right? But we didn't call here system out println method. So this should be inside the system out println. And then list that remove, what was the number here? 1. So it removes which element? Element 1 or element 2?
Element 2.
And in order to display all of the elements, we can just here leave the ArrayList name, which is list. So if I run this code, it will display me element 1 as a value and then array. Why we have only one element in the array?
Well, we remove one.
Because one of them is removed. One of them is removed. All right. So we're gonna do this. Let me copy these methods right here. All right. Or let me copy it somewhere here. I see them here. And this. Okay. Did we use add method here, guys, already? Yep. How about this method, list.add? We didn't use it yet. So let me do this. List.add element 3. If I run this line, if we execute this line, how many elements will be in the array list after this line? 2 elements. All right. How about this? Very easy. There will be 3 elements. Next, there are elements such as element 1, element 3, and element 4, right? Element 1, element 3, and element 4. What are the indexes for these elements? 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. So there is a method list.add element and then this guys. So first should come the index. It's not used a lot, guys. We don't use it a lot, but here this, it will put the element value after the element 1. So it will be element 1 element, or let me make it Java. It will be element 1 Java, element 3, and element 4. Yeah, let's display it. List. It's element 1 Java, element 3, and element 4. But what if I display it here? What will be displayed for this line?
Element 1, element 3, and 4.
It will be, yeah, element 1, element 3, element 4. So this is what we did. We just put some element between elements. We put Java at the index 1. And the element at index 1 and following elements are moved to the right. So element 3 and element 4 are moved to the next indexes. So Java is here.
So we can choose any index.
Yeah, we inserted it at some index. What will be at the end if I do this?
First element is Java.
It will be Java, element 1, element 3, and element 4, yeah? Let's run it. Yeah, Java element 1, element 3, element 4. And for you, better if you write it down in the IntelliJ IDEA also, because we're gonna do it with, we're gonna call all of the methods. Okay. So next method is, guys, set. When it comes to set, let me put here Python. Python, okay. What are the elements, guys? Right at this line. What are the elements we have in the list?
Java element 1, element 3, and 4.
Java element 1, element 3, element 4. Perfect. We have these elements. Next, set method. List.set. It will set value Python. It will not move move the current element to the following indexes. It will replace it. It will replace it. So Python, and let's do this. So first comes the index. So Java will disappear. Yeah, it will be Python element 1, element 3, and 4. So in order to see the effect, we should also display the list. So right here, there is no more Java. It's Python element 1, 3, and 4.
Set is like replace.
Yeah, set means replace. Next method, we used get already. List size. We know this one. What will be returned? What value should be returned for this size? And it is
4.
4. It's Python element 1, element 3, and element 4. List size is a returning type method. If it's returning type method, can we assign its value to some variable?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can. We can assign it like this because it returns something. It returns a value, int value. And that's why we can call it in the system out print line as well. There are 4. Next method, guys, is list. For example, the method contains from string class. Let's say I have this laptop string and I call a method called contains. Laptop contains L. What will be returned?
True.
True. It contains character L. Here we have a method contains. To check this. Does this ArrayList contain element Java? Does it contain element Java?
No.
No, there is no element Java. Java is replaced. But it contains element Python. True. It contains element Python. All right. And then another method is, next method is clear. What do you think? What will be right after this method is called? Yeah, all of the methods will go somewhere else. All of them are removed. What? Yeah, this is what we have done here. We removed element 2. This is what we have done here. We added element 1, element 2, and then we removed which element? Which one? This one or this one? Yeah. So that's why we don't see element 2 no here.
What about remove and clear method is similar, right?
Remove method removes only one element. Clear method removes all of them. So after this clear, there are no elements. Then we have another element method, returning method. This one is empty. And it checks whether the array list is empty or not. When we cleared this array list, is it empty? After we made the,
Yes.
yep, it is empty. It returns true if the list is empty. So true is return.
Why we after remove 2 times printing first list list is empty.
This is to show that we have no elements there. We can remove it also. This will still show us that there are no elements. True.
So, one more question regarding this.
Yep.
Can we use like system of print line inside the parentheses list clear?
Maybe it returns something. Let's check. It returns nothing, so we cannot. So here, if you hover your mouse here, it gives you information about this method. It's a void type method. It removes all of the elements from this list. The list will be empty after this call. After this call. So we cannot put it inside the system of print line because it's void type. These are the most common methods. Add, set, remove, get, size, contains, clear, and is empty. These are the most common methods. These are the basic manipulations that we have done on this list. All right. Next thing is this. Next thing is create here, guys, a class called example1. Example1. And the main method. Now we're going to learn how to manipulate and how to work with this array lists. Create here example1 and the main method. All right, let's first take a look at this example. No need to copy it. Let's first figure out what does it do. Let's take a look at this. What's the type of this array list?
Integer.
Array list integer. So is it true that inside this array list, we will be able to store 1,000 numbers, 500 numbers as well? Yeah. Can we store there 500 numbers and then remove half of them? Yeah. So this is an array list of integer objects. Then we created here object of random class. So here, what does it do, guys? How many times will this for loop run?
10 times.
10 times. So here, numbers add method. What does add method, guys?
Add element.
Add
It-
element.
It inserts element into the array, right? Inserts element. So when here we don't use index right now because what add needs is just method call and that's it. We don't need here index. When you call add, it will just put element and then again put element every time at the end. We don't need index to specify. Assign this element to this index. This is how we do it in regular array. Here, this for loop runs 10 times. In the first call, numbers.add, it will insert one random value. And then one more random values. How many times will it insert into array random values?
10
10
times.
times. So how many random numbers will be in this array list numbers? 10 random numbers. Yeah, let's check it. Copy this code to that example one main method. Let me also,
What means the +1?
No, what about?
yeah, so random.nextInt generates random numbers between 0 and 99. So let's say 99 is generated, +1 is 100. If 0 is generated, +1 is 1. So this is basically just to generate numbers from 1 to 100. We could do here 1 and 101, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same as if it's in the range between 1 and 101. If you write here just 1000, it will generate numbers from 0 to 999. So let's copy this code.
The for ArrayList.
No. All right, let me know, guys, once you have done. All right, so let me show you the example. What we have there is this rand.nextInt plus 100. We could do this, or we could generate the number first and then add the ready random number. Two ways. We could first generate it and then add it. So if I run it now, it displays me these random numbers. All right. So it's very basic code. Next. What will happen, guys, if I do this? What will happen? What will be changed?
10 times.
So how many numbers will be in the array list?
10.
10. 10. This I is not used here. We don't need I to insert a number. We don't use it. In regular array, we use name, then square bracket, I. But here we don't use. We call just add, and it will insert the element at the end. So that's why for us, the importance here is that for loop runs exactly 10 times. If it runs 10 times, there will be 10 numbers. So there are 10 elements. How about this? How many numbers will be in the array list? 10. Yeah. Here, more important is this part. how many times this code will run. Here we don't use I. If it would be a regular array, then we would need to do from 0 to 10. We would need this to make it assigned to the first element, which is I0, then assign it to the second element, which is I1. But here we don't use I. This example here fills an array list with random numbers. In the next example, let's take a look at this example. What does this one, guys? What's behind this code?
So we are inserting numbers to array.
Here
Five
we fill numbers using the keyboard, right? We read values from console. So at the end, how many numbers will be in the array? 5.
Five.
When you enter first number, size will be 1. There will be only one element. Then when you enter the next element, size will be 2. There will be 2 elements. Second element is inserted to the it's added to the end. All right. So create example 2 class, and then we're gonna copy this slide.
Can we use without +1?
Let's check. Where is +1?
No, the first.
Yeah, we can do it without +1 also.
Example 2, right?
Yeah, it's example 2. So if you do 1 and 100, what are the numbers that could be generated?
1 and
1 and 100. It could be 1 and 99. 100 is not included. If we do here 101, then it's from 1 to 100. Or we can do +1 here, which means if 99 is generated, yeah, it will be 100.
Prints 1 and 100. Or
1,
From 1 to 100.
it not prints, it might generate a random number between 1 and 100. So it could be 100, it could be 1. In this case, it can never be 100. It's from 0 to 99. Now it's from not 0 to 99, it's from 1 to 100. All right, example 2. All right, copy this code for example 2 class, guys. No, this is not task.
If the +1, all the random numbers will make them +1, right?
Yeah, originally it will be 0 and 99. But if random number is 0, we get instead of 0, 1. Yeah, we already copied it, this one.
Which one is example?
Yeah, this one.
Which one?
Yeah, example 2.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how to say, even if we know the number of elements in the array, can we still use this array list?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
it's
Even
always
if you know,
composable. Mhm.
basically, you will always from now on use ArrayList if it's a list of cars, whether it's list of bank accounts, you will use ArrayList because it's not fixed size. So from now on, we can forget about array. But ArrayList, inside the ArrayList, under the hood, there is a regular array. There is a regular array. But programmers created that regular array, and they enhanced it so that it's kind of not fixed size, but it's still fixed size. What happens under the hood? It creates every time a new array when new element is added. So it's not like really flexible. It's still a regular array, but it's enhanced regular array. We just don't see the behind the scene part. Okay. This is the code. Next, if I run it, it displays enter 5 numbers. But I would like to do this, guys. I would like to make it this. Enter first number, enter second, not second number, enter number, enter third number, enter number. I want to make it this way. So I enter here, fifth this way, maybe this, then this, then maybe this, and then it displays me numbers 5, 4, 3, 23, 65, 12, and 5. Instead of just one message, like enter 5 numbers, I want you to do this. Enter number 1, enter number 2, enter third number, enter fourth number, and enter fifth number. I want you to change this code. So it shouldn't display as just one time. It should display every time you enter.
We can write inside the loop, right? This prompt message.
Yeah, if you know, let's do it right now. If you know it.
No, I don't know, but I just proposing.
So you have 1 minute, guys, to do it. We should add here something like a prompt message. Right here on line 12.
What should we do? Should we remove the information system out and that the 5 numbers?
Yeah, it should be removed. And instead of that message, there should be enter number 1, enter number 2.
So we put the system out println on
Yeah.
after 4.
The right in the first line
Yeah.
of the system out print line, and to present this number, we I. Yeah, I increased by 1. All right. So I think you've done it. What should be added here?
System out
Out
one, enter in brackets and
I plus 1.
plus I.
Plus 1.
Should be I plus 1. Enter first number, 5, 12, 98, 125, 1, and these are the numbers. Very easy, guys. So let's move to the next slide. We have more slides here. Next.
Hey, I have a question regarding the previous one.
Mhm.
Can you please explain the number add and the parenthesis number, how it works?
This
No, numbers, line 14.
14. So
Number add is like,
assume its first iteration. I is equal to 0. It displays as enter 0 plus 1, which is 1. It displays as 1 number. Next step, it prompts us a value. I enter a value 5. Then we add to the array list this number, which is 5. So we have there element 5, one element. Next iteration, it displays enter I, which is 1 plus 1. So it's enter 2 number. And then we read from user a value again. And then we add that new value to the array list. Its second element, which is 12. Then same thing with the next elements, with following elements.
so we need to create like count plus,
No?
like we did.
Why do we need count plus plus?
When we add some containers, some numbers, do you remember that we create like,
We used count, for example, to count the number of fives, but here we don't need to check. Count you use to check something. Here you just take number from scanner and we don't need indexes. You just insert them. You just throw these numbers and it will, ArrayList will add them to the end. It will insert them to the end of the ArrayList. That's, we don't need indexes.
trying to compare how we did it without before. For example,
Before it was this. So in
when we
5.
didn't know the array list, I mean,
Yeah, it was this 4 array lengths. So there are, so enter I plus 1 again. It's pretty much the same, but we assign using I. For array list, we don't use I. We just do, we're just throwing this number and it will insert it to the end. So array number
assign the
to the
number,
specific
yeah,
index. Yeah,
but now we just use add.
yeah,
This is the difference.
yeah. Add, we'll just put it at the end. All right, next slide. So what do we do here, guys? We add here 5 elements to the array list, and then there is a scanner. After the scanner is created, we prompt us to enter a number to find. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I would like to find between these numbers 35. Do we have it?
No.
There is no 35. So if numbers contains 35, what will be returned?
Target is false, is ArrayList.
It will return us false. There is no 35. There are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So it returns false. We don't run this code. We move to the else, and it displays 35 is not found in the array list. So this code checks if your array list contains a specific element or not using contains method. It could be used, yeah, in many places. All right. Create example 3 class, and we're gonna copy it there. Example 3 class should be created. All right, you done, guys? All right. So to do the same thing with an array, what will it take you guys to do the same thing with an array? Do we have for a regular array contains method? Of course, no. No. Do we have for array list method clear? No, for array. No. Do we have for array method set?
No.
No. Do we have for array method get? No, there are no methods. We would need to do this contains part. What's behind this contains ourselves. We would need to create for loop. We would need to create counter. We would need to check if element, and then if counter is 1, if we met that number, then print is found in the array list or not found. We would need to do it ourselves. So there are utility methods that help us to do it. All right, checking element if it's present in the array list using contains method. Next example is accessing elements in the array list. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We can access elements by get method. But if you would need to display all of the elements, all of them, then we can use a for loop. And here the same numbers.get method. Here we use an index, which is I, to display all of the elements. All right. We're gonna copy this code to the example class example 4. How often, guys, do you restart your laptop? Yeah. Never?
We should do.
Yeah, it's better. Like, we go to sleep, right? The same should be done with laptops. All right. It's been quite a long time since I didn't restart my laptop. It's really right now slowing down. All right, you done, guys? All right,
Yes.
let's. So here we can use for loop to display these numbers. We have done this before with a regular array, but there we used instead of get method, square brackets and I. Here we use get method. All right. Next slide. Let's just discuss the next slide, guys. How about this? Let's say we have an array list. Can we have an array list of car objects?
Yes.
Yep. We can have an array list of car objects. So here we have a car class with brand, model, year, properties, constructor, and method to display values for these properties. Here we have an array list of car class. So we can add to this array list car objects. We created here three car objects. First car object, second car object, and third car object. What's the size of this car's array list? It's 3. All right. We can iterate through this array list. We can display the car info. We can do basic for I. Then cars that get I will return us which car object? Cars that get I. Let's say cars that get 0.
First one.
Toyota will be returned. So we store Toyota here in the car object. Then we can call on that car object display car info. What will be displayed?
The Camry detail.
Yeah. It will display as year, then Toyota, then model. And then I becomes 1. We create a new car object. Cars get 1. It is Honda. And then we call on that Honda object display car info. All right. In the next classes, we are going to learn other data structures. These data structures are hash map and set. These are other data structures. Let me quickly check something. All right. So it's going to be this way. On Thursday, it's going to be recap for ArrayList and wrapper classes. On Friday, you learn set and map interfaces. On Monday, recap for all collections. Let me, by the way, show you this. I think it's a good thing for you. So all right. So there is a tree family of data structures. Let me open it in the new tab. There is a tree family. So do you see anywhere here, guys, an array list?
Yes.
Yeah, array list is right here. And the one that you see on top of array list is a parent. It's parent. Parent for array list. List is a parent. Parent for list is collection. Parent for collection is iterable. All right. Next data structures we're going to learn are set and map. Set and map. This is a family tree of these collections. Collection means some data structure that can store multiple values of same data type. Array list can store multiple values of same data type. Linked list can, vector, stack, all of them can, but array list is used most. There are queues that can also store multiple values. Yeah, and then map is in different family. Map is not part of collection family. We're gonna learn it later. So on Thursday, we're gonna cover again array list. We're gonna do more practices. Yeah, Yeah, and you're gonna have 2 tasks in your home assignment for this day.
Are we gonna cover all of this
No.
hierarchy? No.
What we are gonna cover is ArrayList, hash set, linked hash set, tree set, hash map, tree map, and linked hash map. And most used ones are ArrayList, hash map, and hash set. These are the most used data structures. But those who are gonna be interviewed for like developer positions, they need to know how they work behind. Like when you call contains, what does it do behind? They should know, and they sometimes they even should know how to create their own ArrayList class. Like create everything that we have inside the ArrayList, everything that we have here. Like they should know what's behind. So for this day, there will be 2 tasks regarding ArrayList. On Thursday, a recap practice class. And as of my I expect like approximately we're gonna finish Java like on 6th of November, on 5th of November, Tuesday, November 5th. Yeah, if no one gets it's gonna be 5th of November.
Yes.
Yeah, or 4 weeks. Business days? Business days are 5, so 20 days. Java days, 16. Yeah.
Then we will start Selenium.
You should start Selenium. All right, so it's 9 p.m. guys. It's perfect. All right. See you guys. If
Thank
you have
you.
questions, you can ask right now.
Can you please highlight what kind of topic we will cover?
Next,
At the end of the class.
yeah, this will be so now we learned ArrayList. I'll cover only new topics. I'll not right here like recaps. Set and map. Next are OP introduction, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, abstraction, exceptions. Yeah, and between them we're gonna build some like project, capstone project. But these are the topics until the 5th of November. All right, guys, online students, see you on Thursday.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep.